As you reflect on the relationships that formed you, also reflect on how you are the only common denominator in each of those relationships. How do you show up energetically in these connections? Are your boundaries strong and mutually beneficial? Are your boundaries so strong as to never allow anyone to get emotionally close? Or are they so weak as to allow others to manipulate or take advantage of your kind nature and big heart? Do you believe love to be inherently unconditional? Or do you play out an unconscious pattern of having to earn love and affection from others because that is how you were parented? Do you view relationships as transactional? Are you the giver or are you the taker? In what ways might you be overgiving or overtaking in your closest relationships? The first decan of Libra degrees are activated right now as we collectively experience evolutionary growing pain and shed these unhealthy habitual or karmic relationship patterns that were modeled to us and now unconsciously play out within our closest one-to-one relationships. We are experiencing tests and triggers to our closest relationships and our partnerships that will ultimately transform them and take them into new relationship territory as we evolve with new relationship skills, new ways of connecting, and new ways of sharing our deepest, most authentic emotions. Venus is in Scorpio, and the new moon solar eclipse, final eclipse in the cycle, casts a spotlight on both Black Moon Lilith and South Node in Libra. First, we will be required to, like a snake shedding its skin, shed previous, outdated versions of ourselves as we ditch unhealthy coping mechanisms, poor communication patterns, old attachment styles, patterns of avoidance or conflict avoidance, falling into addictions to escape reality, codependency, and enmeshment. We will be gaining clarity around what it means to be more intentional within our relationships, how we connect, and with whom we choose to connect. The Sun in Libra recently conjoined the Super Galactic Center, 2 degrees Libra, which is a very unsettled, obsessive, and potentially addictive energy. It almost needs a partner because it does not inherently feel whole outside of connection. It feels like it needs that partner in order to be complete. It's almost as if society is judging it for being single, as if it's a leper. Since the Sun recently conjoined this part of the sky, it served as a trigger point, pointing the spotlight of energy on our tendency to put a lot of stock or value into the opinions, expectations, and projections of others. We have to be very mindful of this because while the feedback is a helpful gauge of our overall perception, we risk giving too much power away to external forces this way. The Sun activating this part of the sky or universe can illuminate relational imbalances, unhealthy relational patterns, and avoidant and attachment imbalances and styles. We will be called to question why we enter relationships in the first place. What's our intentionality in each of our closest relationships? How do we maintain our sense of self, ensuring our individual needs are met while also showing up 50-50 within our relationship or partnership? Are you showing up in your relationships authentically, or are there deeper hidden emotions lurking beneath the surface? The first 10 degrees of wherever you have Libra in your chart are highly active right now, and they are highlighting your own relationship modeling and patterns, especially unhealthy habitual or karmic patterns. Typically, this relates to our parents and to our older siblings, where applicable, who were our first examples or models for relating interpersonally. How we witnessed two people working together through their problems, or maybe the absence of that, and the impact that may have had on you. For me, I came from a background of divorce, in which one parent was fixated on using the children as pawns to enact revenge plots on the other parent, who wanted to leave for their own mental well-being and peace of mind. I did not witness adults working together to solve problems, but instead witnessed adults regressing into emotionally immature states and avoiding taking personal accountability by scapegoating those around them. I witnessed infidelity and was programmed by my mother to believe that all men cheat and lie, which became my reality, so long as I allowed these relationship patterns to remain unconscious, and these beliefs that I had imprinted. I freed myself from these patterns when I connected with my karmic twin flame, who ultimately served to illuminate these unhealthy patterns of codependency and people-pleasing by completely taking advantage of my love, kindness, and using me to pull himself out of a deep, dark depression only to discard me like a used object in the end. The outer planets in Libra destabilized what we defined in one-to-one relationships, and I'll explain. We had Saturn in Libra, 1921 to 1924, 1951 to 1953, and 1980 to 1983. We had Neptune in Libra, with Neptune dissolving relationships, 1942 to 1956. Double whammy to those born between 1951 and 1953 who have both Neptune and Saturn in Libra. Uranus in Libra, 1968 to 1975, bringing unconventionality, out of the box thinking to relationships. And then Pluto in Libra, 1971 to 1983. Double whammy to 1980 to 1983, who would have both their Pluto and Saturn in Libra. So I'll explain what each of those mean. When Uranus transits a new sign, it is said to stir up upheaval and change in the realm of that sign. So Uranus was in Libra from 1968 to 1975. Uranus in Libra was the generation, characterized by unstable, fast-moving, often sudden changes affecting one-to-one interpersonal relationships. Chaos, disruptive, or unhealthy dynamics in partnership were modeled to them. Just before that, from 1942 to 1956, the generation that was born while Neptune was transiting Libra. Both of my parents belonged to this generation. Neptune is the planet of fantasy, dreams, imagination, spirituality, and escape. Whenever Neptune transits a sign, it is said to dissolve something there. So when Neptune transits Libra, it dissolves the two-parent traditional home structure. One parent leaving, parental divorce, the absent parent, the absent partnership, lies within the partnership where there's a public mask or facade covering a darker truth, alcoholism, addiction, affair, ABUSC, etc. This generation had to learn about real connections, the importance of right relationship with self prior to going into relationship with another because of the lack of balanced connections and relationships modeled to them. This Neptune and Libra generation are said to have a natural talent for peacekeeping, diplomacy, and creative solutions. Creative solutions through other people or collaborative projects especially. Fulfillment can be found through creating art and beauty. Many in this generation have Libra children or children with dominant Libra energy. Overlapping with the Uranus and Libra generation born 1968 to 1975, the Pluto and Libra generation, aka Generation X, born from 1971 to 1983, parts of 1984, Pluto is the smallest, slowest moving, and farthest planet, dwarf planet, in our solar system. As such, it takes 246 to 248 years to complete one orbit or rotation, spending approximately 13 to 20, usually closer to 18 to 20 years in each sign. So everyone born during a generational or 18 to 20 year period has Pluto in the same zodiacal sign. For example, we'll reuse the example I used earlier in the video, millennials. Millennials were born with Pluto in its sign of rulership, Scorpio, born between 1984 and 1985-1986. Bringing us the first generation that needed work aligned with soul purpose, followed by Generation Zers, who were born with their Pluto in freedom-loving Sagittarius from 1996 to 2008, who continue to carry that torch lit by the millennials. Whenever Pluto transits a sign, it destroys what is not aligned with authenticity in the realm that sign rules, which in the sign of Libra included destruction of inauthentic partnerships, connections, relationships, and marriages. Pluto in Libra can mean that the early partnerships that were modeled to Generation X were inconsistent with the relationships having ups and downs. This brought us a generation of latchkey kids, elevated rates of divorce, and power or control dynamics within parental structures. Many Generation Xers have at least one parent on the narcissistic spectrum. Many people with Pluto and Libra may need to learn how to navigate and create healthier dynamics within true connection. Where the new moon solar eclipse in Libra will affect you. Navigate to 10 degrees Libra in your natal chart. Identify what house this is in for you. This shows the life area where the new moon solar eclipse may manifest. The sign and planetary body indicate the energy patterns and the archetypes. We can use me as an example. I have a stellium or concentration of planets in Libra. Mercury, 4 degrees Libra, Venus in rulership, 8 degrees Libra, ascendant, 12 degrees Libra, and the sun, fallen, but exalted in the first house, rising with my ascendant. So a nice balance there. 14 degrees Libra, all in loose operative conjunction from point to end. From end to end, Mercury 4 degrees Libra to Sun 14 degrees Libra is a difference of exactly 10 degrees. The longest a conjunction can be to be considered a loose operative conjunction. We can consider a plus-minus 5-degree orb and factor in any placements or important angles, such as the ascendant, descendant, IC, or midheaven, MC, falling between 5 and 15 degrees of Libra. If it's hitting your sun, you may find a change to your sense of identity, or the solar eclipse could be affecting your father. If it's conjoining your moon, there may be a change to how you seek emotional comfort. Mercury, impacting the way you think, speak, and or communicate. Venus, a change to what you value. Mars, a change to how you do things or go after something when you want it. Jupiter, a change to your overall world view. The planets are merely the actors. How it will manifest or play out depends on the house it falls in. Thank you for watching. If you're still with me, you're a real one. Drop your current most used emoji in the comments. If you took anything away from this video, we ask that you like, comment, share the content, and subscribe. If you enjoyed this video, we know that you'll enjoy the full playlist and this additional video. Thank you so much. Love you and see you soon.